Hi, it's Caroline, career coach and mentor. And in this video, I want to talk about the sensitive subject on how to recover after a traumatic incident at work. And when I say traumatic incident, because it's a whole wide spectrum, I mean when you were let go, being pushed out, being performance managed out, or anything like that, or having to experience a toxic environment, being bullied, or anything like that. Because basically that affects your confidence, and it's so difficult to rebuild that. So there is one critical part that I want to share with you, so you are able to have those tools with you and to start building that confidence back up, because you will need it. Because people are attracted to people that radiate confidence. So whether that is in interview, whether that it is on a networking event, whether this is internally, how you want to raise your profile to get promoted. So the one critical part and the key to success today is to detach yourself emotionally. Now, this is really very, very difficult. And I think about like a dozen of my clients that have experienced really something traumatic at work. And the problem is that you go over and over and over in your head about that specific situation, but it's doing nobody any good. And the person that suffers the most is yourself. So the first point that I want to make, or the first step that you have to take, is actually to acknowledge that what is and what happened. There is nothing you can do or argue that will change that situation. So it's actually just acknowledging that going around in circles, that the only person that is suffering from that is you. The second thing that I want you to do is actually start detaching yourself. And this is really the hardest part of all, because emotionally detaching yourself is almost like, feels like impossible. And the reason why it feels impossible is often you made a compromise. You compromise on your family time, you compromise on your friends' time, and you compromise on your personal care, your time. So you compromise on your boundaries often to do something for your job, for this company, for anybody within your work environment. And then you feel stabbed in the back and pushed in the gut. And you think like, oh my God, this is the biggest disappointment. You feel like you're being let down. And as a response and a reaction to that, you feel angry because that is unjust. So to counteract that, the thing that you need to do is to detach yourself. And this is a really good strategy to already do in any new environment that you go into. And detaching yourself doesn't mean that you have to be cold-blooded and that you don't have to engage with your colleagues or anybody else, or not being social in your company. It means that you have to understand that things happen and that decisions are made, and whether you agree with them or not, that's irrelevant. It's about you emotionally protecting yourself and being detached from the outcome. You do your best, you show up, you serve, you really contribute to your best of your ability, but you do not compromise on your own integrity and on your own boundaries. And that's why it's so important that as a third step, to have your boundaries and to not compromise on them. So you have your family time, have your friends time, have your personal care, and have your personal boundaries, because that is at the end what will stay with you. Not that job, not your career, not anybody, but you. And you have to look after yourself first. And that's why it's so hard to detach yourself sometimes, is when you're so emotionally involved, because you compromised. So don't compromise, detach yourself from those situations. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you don't have to be fully engaged and fully motivated. It means that you emotionally, you protect yourself, and that you think of you and your boundaries and your integrity first, and that you work with that within the work environment. And I hope this helped. If you want to have a chat about what happened to you, and also to really understand and see how you can move forward for that, and because that's another important part, letting go and actually having that confidence back after detaching yourself, to actually put yourself out there. So I help people, senior managers, to actually take the next step and find a six-figure leadership role. But I want to do that where they don't compromise on anything, where they get paid what they're worth, and where they have a job that they feel fulfilled and challenged in. So if this interests you, have a chat with me. I will pop a link below this video so you can book a call. On the call, it's not going to be a sales call. This is going to be just a plain conversation between you and I. And this is going to be about where you're at, where you want to be, what the gap is, and how we can fast track that, closing that gap. What the strategy would be to get you from point A to point B. And if you want my help after our chat, that is perfectly fine. But I can promise you, if you don't want, that is also fine. You will leave with a lot of insights that you need in terms of moving your career forward. So I hope you find this video inspiring, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.